There was a time when Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez were the couple everyone adored. Their relationship looked like something out of a movie, full of charm, love, and picture-perfect moments. Whether it was walking red carpets together, wearing matching outfits, or sneaking away on private getaways, they made people believe in young love. But fast forward to now, and things couldn't be more different. Justin is married to Hailey Bieber, the woman who, according to some, once followed him and Selena everywhere. Meanwhile, Selena seems to have found peace and love with music producer Benny Blanco. The two exes don't even talk anymore. Crazy how things change, right? To understand how they went from being one of the most talked about couples to total silence, we need to go back to where it all began. This isn't just a story of fame and love. It's a mix of young dreams, heartbreak, and choices that shaped who they became. So sit tight because we're about to look at everything that led to the end of Yelena. Before all the drama, it started with three young dreamers trying to make their mark in the world. Selena Marie Gomez, born in Texas in 1992, didn't come from wealth or fame. Her mom had her at just 16 and struggled to provide for them. Still, Selena had something special, an energy that drew people in. She started out on Barney and Friends as a kid, then became a household name as Alex Russo on Wizards of Waverly Place. Her witty personality and natural charm turned her into one of Disney's biggest stars. But Selena wasn't just acting. She was also stepping into music. With her band Selena Gomez and the scene and roles in movies like Another Cinderella Story and Spring Breakers, she built a career most teens could only dream of. Then there was Hailey Baldwin, born in Arizona in 1996. She came from a famous family. Her dad is actor Stephen Baldwin, and her uncles include Alec and William Baldwin. With a last name like that, it would have been easy for her to rely on her family's fame. But Hailey wanted her own path. She dreamed of becoming a professional ballerina and trained hard for it. But an injury ended that goal. So she switched gears and stepped into modeling. Her looks and determination got her on magazine covers and fashion runways for brands like Dolce & Gabbana and Ralph Lauren. Still, the world would later know her as the woman who married Justin Bieber. And then there's Justin. Born in 1994 in Canada and raised by his single mom, Patty Millette, Justin Drew Bieber had a childhood full of music and big dreams. He started uploading singing videos on YouTube, and it changed his life forever. Scooter Braun discovered him, Usher took him under his wing, and soon his debut single, Baby, made him an overnight sensation. His sweet smile and catchy songs turned him into every teenager's crush. But fame hit him fast, too fast. One moment he was just a kid making covers online, and the next he was touring the world with cameras in his face everywhere he went. The pressure was heavy, and that innocent image he once had started to fade with time. Now, before blaming anyone for how things turned out, it's important to remember that Justin made his own choices. Hailey might have played a role later, but he was responsible for the life he created. The highs, the chaos, and everything in between. Because before the marriage, before the scandals, and before all the public meltdowns, there was Selena Gomez. Their story began when two young stars, full of talent and teenage curiosity, met and formed a bond that would follow them for years. Let's rewind to the late 2000s. When flip phones were still a thing, Justin Bieber's Baby was blasting everywhere, and Selena Gomez was Disney's sweetheart. When they first met, it wasn't love at first sight. It was more of a friendly connection. In interviews, Selena would laugh and say things like, "He's like my little brother. Dating him would feel weird." And honestly, she wasn't wrong. At the time, Justin still had that baby-faced look, while Selena was stepping into young adulthood. They were only 2 years apart, but during teenage years, that difference can seem huge. Still, their chemistry was undeniable. You could see it in how they talked about each other in interviews, in their shy smiles, and the way their energy changed when they were in the same room. Fans noticed it too. The internet buzzed with rumors and hopes that something romantic was brewing between them. It was like watching a love story form in real time. Two rising stars falling for each other while the world watched. But here's something that many people forget. The same year Justin met Selena, he also met Hailey Baldwin. Yes, the girl who would eventually become his wife entered the story early on. It happened through her dad, Stephen Baldwin, who was apparently a fan of Justin and introduced his daughter to him backstage at an event. There's even an old video of that moment. Hailey looked completely starstruck, barely able to speak, and full of nervous excitement. You can tell from her smile that she couldn't believe she was meeting one of the biggest young celebrities in the world. Back then, no one could have guessed that this shy teenager would one day be Justin's wife. At that time, she was just another fan meeting a pop idol, but that brief introduction would later turn into something much bigger. A twist in the story that no one saw coming. As time passed, Justin and Selena's chemistry started to grow stronger. They soon went public with their relationship, and Justin began doing things that made every teenage fan go crazy. One of his most talked about gestures was when he rented out the entire Staples Center just so the two of them could have a private movie date watching Titanic. It was the kind of romantic move that made headlines and had social media in a frenzy. While all this was happening, Hailey Baldwin was watching from the sidelines. Back then, she was a full-on Jelena fan. Yes, Team Justin and Selena. On Twitter, she posted things like, "Selena Gomez is so cute, don't argue," and even wrote, "Justin and Selena are the definition of a teenage dream." She even tweeted Selena a happy birthday and called her beyond flawless. To be fair, Hailey was just 14 at the time. A teenage girl crushing on Justin Bieber and admiring Selena Gomez, totally normal for that age. But looking back now, things feel a little strange because of how her life eventually intertwined with theirs. Years later, old messages came out showing that Hailey used to message her friends asking where Justin and other celebrities like Shawn Mendes were hanging out. It was clear she was already trying to be around them. What seemed like harmless fangirling at the time ended up being the start of something much bigger. Meanwhile, Justin and Selena's relationship started getting more intense and complicated. What began as a sweet teenage romance soon turned into one of Hollywood's most talked about and chaotic love stories. As for Hailey, she wasn't just a fan anymore. She started showing up in the same places Justin was, trying to get closer to him. There are even screenshots of old messages where she asked for details about which hotel he was staying at. Later, she deleted those messages, but of course, the internet never forgets. Reports also claimed she did the same thing with other celebrities, though Justin always seemed to be the one she was most interested in. So when Hailey later claimed, "I didn't really know him back then," people couldn't help but roll their eyes. Everyone knew that wasn't true. As for Justin and Selena, their relationship turned into a roller coaster. One day, they were posting sweet couple pictures, and the next, breakup rumors were everywhere. There were whispers of cheating, jealousy, and constant fights. Their love story had become unpredictable and messy. Then came the whole Jenner drama. Selena went to Coachella with Kylie and Kendall Jenner, and everything looked fine, until she suddenly unfollowed them right after the festival. Soon after, Justin was spotted spending time with Kendall, looking way too friendly. And guess who was close friends with Kendall? Hailey. So now you had Justin, Selena, Kendall, and Hailey all tangled up in one complicated Hollywood situation. And the pattern didn't stop there. Every time Justin and Selena broke up, Hailey somehow reappeared. It became a cycle everyone could see. One week, Justin would be spotted hanging out with Hailey, and the next, he'd be back with Selena. When he wasn't with either of them, he was linked to Sophia Richie, who just happened to be friends with both Hailey and the Jenners. It started to feel like everyone in that circle was connected, and Justin was always in the middle of it. Selena, on the other hand, tried to move on. She began dating The Weeknd, and for a while, it seemed like she had finally found stability. They looked happy, and fans thought she was closing the Jelena chapter for good. But then, almost out of nowhere, she and Justin got back together again. It was like no matter how far apart they grew, they always found their way back to each other. Fans thought this time might actually work out. There were reports that Justin even wanted to marry her, but Selena wasn't ready. After everything they'd been through, the constant ups and downs, the emotional exhaustion, it made sense that she needed time to breathe. But instead of waiting or taking a break, Justin made a move that shocked everyone. Just 2 months after breaking up with Selena for the last time, Justin proposed to Hailey Baldwin. The internet went wild. No one could believe how fast it happened. Even Justin's own mom seemed caught off guard. She quietly removed, "Yes, I'm Justin's mom," from her Twitter bio right after the news broke, which made fans think she wasn't exactly thrilled about how fast her son moved on. While everyone tried to process what had just happened, Selena stayed silent. No public comments, no shade, no angry posts. She handled it with quiet strength. People could tell she was hurt, but she didn't feed into the drama. She just let the world talk while she focused on herself. But for Hailey, it was like her life had come full circle. The girl who once tweeted "Team Jelena forever" was now Mrs. Bieber. Fans couldn't stop talking about the irony of it all, and soon people started noticing strange similarities between her and Selena. Hailey's tattoos began to look oddly similar to Selena's. Her outfits, photo shoots, even her social media captions started to mirror Selena's style. When she launched her skincare brand, people pointed out that its minimalist design looked a lot like Rare Beauty's aesthetic. It wasn't just fans imagining things. Side-by-side comparisons were all over the internet. What made it even more uncomfortable was how it sometimes seemed like Hailey was throwing subtle shade at Selena while copying her at the same time. One day she'd post something that looked inspired by Selena's vibe, and the next she'd like or repost something that seemed like a quiet jab. People started saying it looked more like obsession mixed with rivalry. By this point, it wasn't just a love triangle anymore. It had become a full-blown saga of imitation, heartbreak, and unfinished emotions. But through all of that chaos, one thing became clear. Selena came out stronger. While Justin rushed into a marriage that many saw as a rebound, Selena found herself again. She focused on healing, her career, her mental health, and eventually found love on her own terms. She didn't need to fight for attention or prove anything. She simply moved forward. And that's what made her story hit harder than any breakup or scandal ever could.